Hey everybody, Thrifty Teresa here. I know I told you that I was going to take a hiatus from YouTube, but I really wanted to get this interview out. Today we're interviewing my friend Gwen Offit, who has GwenOffuttDesigns on Etsy. She is a handmade seller, and I'm really excited to have her talk to you today. We recorded this video, an interview with her months ago, and I didn't publish it because there was some continuity problems, editing problems, and then also she went on a hiatus for a while of her own while she did some family vacations and things like that. So I'm really glad to have her back because I love the stuff that she makes and I can't wait to share it with you. So Gwen, please say hello, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Gwen Offutt from GwenOffuttDesigns on Etsy. And like Teresa said, I'm a handmade seller. And before we start, I have to tell you that I made a coupon code for anybody watching this video. And if you come to my Etsy shop, if you use the word thrifty at checkout, you can get 15% off your entire purchase. Just for you viewers of Thrifty Teresa. But like Teresa said, we're friends and she's awesome. And I make handmade accessories. It was just hair accessories, but now I also make masks and I make some corsages and I make a couple other random things, but mostly hair accessories, right?
That's right. So I am sporting a official Gwen Offit design clip. I purchased this from you. You didn't necessarily make it for me, but when I saw it, I was like, yo, that's for me. And I bought it. It is a flower with a poker chip and some dice. I don't think you can quite see what it says there. There's a little, one of those old refrigerator magnets on it. It says drunk. And I wear it every time I go to Vegas and sometimes when I'm here at home. And I absolutely love it. So that was one of the first things I ever bought from you. And since then, like you said, your store has really branched out. And I'm going to be doing some screenshots and show you guys some items in her store. And then Gwen also has items that she can do a little, show and tell for you. But I also wanted to disclose, like her and I both said a couple times now, is that we are friends. We do hang out. We vacation together. We have fun in Vegas together. We've gotten tattoos together. She lives down in California and I'm up here in Seattle, but somehow we connect and we have a lot of fun together. So she's the inspiration for me to get back on Etsy. She started her Etsy shop before I started reselling on Etsy, and she was having so much fun that it really reminded me how much I used to love selling on Etsy, because I was selling on Etsy from like 2007 to 2010, and then I wasn't doing it anymore because I stopped making my handmade rosaries. Gwen was having so much fun with her handmade shop. I didn't necessarily want to start doing the handmade stuff again, but I found doing the vintage store working out really well. So I've got Gwen to thank for bringing me back to Etsy.
Well, I'm glad you're back because Etsy missed you. But, I couldn't do what you do. I couldn't do the reselling. That would, I really love buying from resellers, but I would never know what to buy. Like, you guys astound me with your like quick eye when you're in the shop. Like, oh, I know that I can make money off of that or whatever. Like, I wish I could do that. It would be a lot easier on me.
Well, I don't take any credit for that. I inherited that gene from my dad. I pretty much grew up in a thrift store or a flea market or a swap meet. I think there's a rumor that they found me in a lost and found or something like that. So I may not be his biological daughter. I'm not even sure. But but my parents started the shopping addiction, and I'm just continuing the legacy. So. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about the things that you make. So primarily, your shop started out with hair accessories. So tell us about the different types of accessories that you sell.
Well, when I first started, I just had this vision of making happy little hair flowers and little pinup flowers. And I slowly realized that you don't sell too many of those. They're great and people love them, but you know, you sell one or two a month and you're good. So I realized I had to sort of branch out and think further outside the box. My sister loves music festivals and stuff. So she was like, you need to start thinking about, you know, like flower crowns and festivals. She was like, you need to start marketing out of, you know, just pin up like happy, you know, little flowers. She was like, you need to start thinking broader. So I started to expand in that way. And then last Halloween, things really took off because I made a Medusa headband out of plastic snakes, and I ended up selling so many of them, my fingers were bleeding. And from there, I kind of slowly but surely, I still sell hair accessories, but I recently was like blogged about as one of the best Halloween stores on Etsy. And I was like, is that what I am? I'm a Halloween store? And I started thinking about it. I was like, I guess I am. So I started thinking more about costuming, and like I made this like card collar for like the Queen of Hearts, and I started making masks recently. So I mean, part of selling on Etsy is you have to be willing to change your vision, because if what you originally thought about isn't selling, you have to really open yourself up to new ideas and, you know, be willing to be flexible.
That's a great point. You know, you were saying that you don't necessarily have the reselling gene, but you've got the creative gene that I don't have, which is the reason I'm not a handmade seller anymore. So you know, started with one thing, but you're rolling with the punches and you're adapting and continuing to expand and grow and be inspired. So that is the greatest thing that you can have when you are a handmade seller, because the competition for handmade on Etsy is severe. There's serious business. There's tons of people who have shops that sell similar items to you, the hair clips and the hair flowers and the fascinators and the headbands and stuff. So you need to do something to stand out, and I certainly think you do. And let's go ahead and show some of your items just to get the ball rolling on that. So do you have any of the hair flowers or flower crowns with you?
Coincidentally, I do.
I figured.
This is a newer one that I made recently, and I'll see if I can get. I recently made this one. I am completely in love with this red. It's really not a color I had been using a lot in my shop for flower crowns, mostly pink and blue and things like that. And I found these red flowers, and I just thought they were like so beautiful. So I decided to, you know, work those into a new piece.
Can you show that a little, like face on, like towards the camera? I'd like to see the band around it. What is that, leather or is that rope?
This is actually it's kind of like a, what do you call it? It's like twine that's sort of covered in oh, what do you call it? Thanks.
Sorry.
Here, it's sort of like, it almost feels like sticks, but it's like twine. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. It's like kind of woven there. Okay, so it's texturally, it's fairly soft then.
Yeah, I did the weaving though on this one, but I'm totally like, I just love it. I just love her so much.
Beautiful.
I will get back to you on what it's called. And then this is my Medusa. This is kind of my claim to fame on Etsy. And she's still selling strong. Right now I'm marketing her as a festival piece, and people have been buying it for that purpose. So that's the other tip I want, is that you need to think outside of your box for what else your item can be used for. You know, mine doesn't necessarily have to be just Halloween. It can be used for so many other purposes. So, you know, if you're selling candles, don't just put in your tags candle. Think, you know, like decorative or holiday, or think of all the different things it can be sold for or used for. Because so many people like limit their tags and don't think bigger. You know, if somebody's looking for a gift, they might find your item because you labeled it as a gift. You know, it's not just a candle, it's so many other things. So lastly, I want to show you my new masks that I made. This is my cat mask. She's polka dot, because what cat isn't polka dot? And I don't know if you can see, but there's rhinestone, or not rhinestone, sequins. It's ribbon. I thought about using elastic, but then I figured it would be easier for everybody, different sizes, to tie it in ribbon.
And ribbon's beautiful, so. Okay. Well, Gwen just dropped out there. Since she dropped out, let me take this opportunity to do some screen sharing here. And hopefully she'll be back with me in just a second. So this is share. There we go. This is Gwen's shop on Etsy. Let me get to that page. Here we go. This is Gwen's shop on Etsy, GwenOffuttDesigns. That's how you can find her. And again, she's offering you guys a 15% discount if you find anything there that you like. And her coupon code was thrifty, so that was really sweet. Here's some of the new items that she put in, her different masks and stuff. This is the Queen of Hearts collar that she mentioned earlier. She also does headbands. There's a zebra headband, and there is a cheetah or leopard headband. You can see all of these rhinestones on here. They were all hand applied. And I know she spent hours and hours on these things, and they look so great. I absolutely love them. Let me see if she's come back to the show. Not yet. Hey, there you are.
Are we still recording?
We're still recording.
Oh,
and while you were away, I just did a screen share over to your shop so people could see your shop and see the way your name was spelled. And I showed them your headbands, your rhinestone headbands with like the zebra print and the cheetah print.
Cool.
Talk to me about that process when you do the rhinestones. Like, how long does it take you to like rhinestone one of those full headbands?
Oh, girl. 8 hours. It's one tiny rhinestone at a time. This is what I do all day, and I'm hunched over in this position. So
you don't have any fingerprints anymore, right? You're off the FBI database because of your hot glue problem.
I was worried about that. I got a new phone recently, and it's one of those with the fingerprint ID. And I was like, is it gonna let me do it?
Oh my gosh.
No, but fortunately the rhinestone projects don't require hot glue. It's a rhinestone glue, which is not hot, which definitely makes my life a lot easier because I have so many in my life. But the rhinestone process is very tedious, but the end result is just so awesome that it's worth it to do it.
I know. I love your patterns, and I'm going to show more stuff in your shop later. Bring your snake Medusa back because I want to ask you some questions about that piece. So Gwen made this last year. You probably did it well before Halloween. When did you launch that into your shop? Do you remember?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny because a woman actually asked me to do a custom order, and she said that she was going to a Halloween party. This was in mid-September, and that the theme of the party was creepy crawly. To do this because I was brainstorming something creepy crawly, and then I offered this to her, and she said, "Oh, anything but snakes. I'm afraid of snakes." So I ended up making her a spider, and I put this in my shop of it. And someone bought it. So I made another one. Someone bought it. And then I just kept making them until my fingers were bleeding. And I ended up between middle of September and October, I think about 10th, I sold 80 of them. And I made them all in that period of time. And it almost like beat me to death. But I just had no idea that it was going to take off. And actually I had to travel in October. So I just closed my shop and ran because I couldn't make any more. I had broken the tool I had used to make them, and it was just chaos. It was sheer chaos. I mean, in a beautiful, amazing way. And I was shocked. I just had no idea. I wasn't braced for it. And this year I'll be ready. I know the storm that's coming, and I'm cool with it. You know, I'm going to use the slow months of July and August to stock up, be ready for the storm. And but I will be forever grateful that that woman did not want the snakes because it definitely made my shop what it is today. And I definitely would never have made the front page of Etsy without it. So.
So tell us a little bit about your process with the snakes. So I want to be really clear with the viewers here. Those are commercially made little rubber snakes that you would normally find at a you know, I don't know, some sort of kitschy, weird, you know, a toy shop or something like that. Or well, we've got a shop here in Seattle called Archie McPhee's that sells just like anything weird under the sun, and they would absolutely have a bucket of those snakes. So what do you do to adhere those snakes together? You wrap some wire or something around them, right?
Right. Each headband has 18 snakes. I have 6 different like snakes that I have, and I use 3 of each one on each headband. So there's 18 total. What happens is I take a satin headband so that, because I'm not going to compromise any sort of comfort in this situation. And I wire this onto it, and then I wire them to each other so that they're, you know, interwoven. I spray the whole thing with gold spray paint, and I give it 3 coats, and it's ready to roll. So it's a tedious process, but the more of them I make, the easier it gets. So we're rolling along.
Well, it's definitely inspired. It's definitely one of the most unique headpieces I've ever seen, and I absolutely love it. So you said you sold 80 by the time Halloween rolled around last year. How many have you sold since then?
A bunch. I honestly don't even know the total, but I started, like I mentioned earlier, you have to kind of think outside the box when you market things. It's not just about creating a good product, it's about how you market it. Once Halloween had passed, I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, you know, people who are going to Burning Man or EDC, you know, they might enjoy calling it a festival headpiece. It doesn't just have to be Halloween. And you'd be surprised. It's like every day it's my most searched for item in my shop. Every day Medusa or snake headband is always my top search listing.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to see how many you wind up selling, and all the other new stuff that you're coming up with too, to sell, you know, for Halloween. So Halloween certainly sort of become your season, whether you expected to or not. Like you said, you just kind of have to roll with it and adapt, and you know, be as creative as possible to find your market, find your people, find your niche.
Yeah, I definitely found my people, and they definitely like Halloween, and I'm okay with that because I'm a Halloween gal. So bring it on. September and October are going to be insane, and I'm totally looking forward to it. I am ready for the challenge this year, so I'm not going to be blindsided this time.
Well, besides rubber snakes and your new adventures into the masks, I know another thing that you were pretty successful with is you get a lot of people contacting you for custom orders for the flower pieces for weddings, for birthdays, for children's parties. You get bulk orders. What percentage of your business would you say are custom orders as opposed to stuff that you've got pre-made and you know, plopped there on your Etsy shop?
About 50%. I'd say 50%. Oh, okay. Let me take that back. I'd say about 48% is snake headbands. 2% is happy hair flowers. And the other 50% is people reaching out to me and saying, hey, I saw a flower crown you did, and I was wondering if you could make one for me, and you know, I want these colors and I want it to look like this or whatever. Or you know, with the rhinestone work, I can do a lot of customization, blah blah. custom pieces. And so a lot of the headbands can put names on them, and for birthdays, ages, things like that. So I get a lot of requests for that kind of thing. Recently, a customer reached out to me to do a 90th birthday crown for her mom. I had a dance troupe that I've done 2 big orders for. This year they were doing a group dance that was it was supposed to be like a funeral theme. So I made them all these, like, each different one was different, and they were all these like fascinator hats with like different black and mostly the only she said they have to be mostly black, but I used some like crystals and silver and stuff to accent. So I mean, that was a really fun challenge to make, and then I ended up liking the fascinator hat so much that I shop is made to order options, because I thought, these are really cool. I want to put them in my shop. So a lot of things that I make for people that are custom pieces, I end up putting in my shop as made to order, because I like them so much, and I figure someone else might like the same item. So.
Well, that's great. That's also great to hear that you're getting repeat customers. That is definitely the thing that handmade sellers want, is you make something for somebody, they love it so much, they got to have it in every color. And that's not something that like us vintage sellers or the resellers can do. It's like, if I find a Care Bear, I might find one stupid Care Bear. I'm not going to find the whole rainbow of Care Bears. So I don't necessarily get the same repeat business that you do. You do really well with that. So kudos.
Repeat business is really important in both vintage and handmade. But a lot of it goes to customer service. I mean, with your shop, I know that I've bought multiple things from you, and shipping has been really prompt, and you've been really communicative. And I know that's not just because we're friends. I know that's how you roll. So I think that with my customers, it's kind of the same thing. It's not just, it's the communication, it's sending photos along the way, letting them know, okay, I will be done with it by the end of this week. It will go out on Tuesday. You should get it by Friday. So, the more communicative you are with people, the more likely they are to come back, professional way.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I read all the time when I'm looking at like some of the Etsy Facebook groups and some of the Etsy forums, is people, sellers complaining about their customers complaining about how much time it takes to make an item. So there's an area in your store, or when you're looking at the listing, that tells the customer the processing time, how long it's going to take. Most buyers don't read that. You cannot say, well, it's written right there on the listing. You have to be diligent to communicate with your customers and tell them, this piece is not ready made. It's going to take me X amount of time to process it, and then it's going to take X amount of time to reach you, depending on delivery method, things like that. So keeping close communication with your customers, especially being a handmade seller, is absolutely critical. Otherwise, you're going to become one of those sellers who get annoyed with your customers who don't pay attention. Just assume that they are not going to read it and reach out to them and make them happy and make them understand. And if they're not cool with the fact that it's going to take X number of days, if you're knitting something, if you are that type of handmade seller, it could take you a week or two to make a blanket or make a sweater or make a baby booties or whatever you're making. And your customer's sitting there waiting with absolutely silence. Then they're going to reach out to you and say, why hasn't this shipped yet? And you're going to treat them like a bad customer. They're not being a bad customer. They're an uninformed customer, and it's your job as a seller to keep them informed. So take that advice from Gwen. That's very important.
Yeah, I 100%. My turnaround time for most things is 3 to 5 business days. Usually it's quicker. But, even I get annoyed sometimes. I'm not going to lie. If I've bought things from people on Etsy, or, and unfortunately they go past their promised ship by date, or, something gets lost in the mail. And people have to realize, sellers have to realize that the people dealing with you, they expect you to fulfill the order as promised, in the same way they would expect Nordstrom or Walmart or anybody else to fill the order as promised. You are your own business, but you have to be professional in every aspect of it and live up to the customer's expectations.
Absolutely. Very, very good point. So what was the next thing I wanted to ask you? We get a lot of people who watch my videos that are new to Etsy, that don't know much about Etsy, and they are a little nervous about being on Etsy. Did you find Etsy to be an easy platform to sell on when you first started? Was it easy for you to understand how to create listings and how to work and create your shop?
Yes, but I'll tell you what. And I will admit it, I bought the book, Selling on Etsy for Dummies.
Oh, they've got one of those?
Yes, they do have one of those. And I read the whole thing because I was completely flummoxed by the idea of adding tags and how do you add pictures and all these things, and, you know, tags and titles. There were a lot of things that caused some anxiety for me, and so I decided I would thoroughly research it before I started so that I would have a good grasp. I also read the forums a lot before I opened my shop and sort of read what other people had to say. It seems to me, based on what I've seen looking in the forums, is that a lot of sellers open their shop and they expect to start getting sales right away.
Yes,
usually that doesn't happen. And they don't understand how their tags and their titles work to have them found in search. So if I was to give one tip to someone who's starting a new shop on Etsy, is they really need to research tags and titles. I know there's a seller's handbook that they can find if they get on the forums, and apparently that's really helpful. I read Etsy Shop for Dummies, you know, whatever it is to make you understand, because tags and titles, they have to match. You have to, you know, use all of your tags. You know, you have to think outside the box. Like, it's not just snake headband, it's Medusa headband, it's festival headwear, it's cosplay. Like, you know, you have to think outside the box of what people are going to be searching for in order to find your item, and then make sure that that is in both your tags and in your titles. And those tags and titles might not be the same today as they are 6 months from now, because something might change and there might be a more relevant tag. You always need to keep an eye on your tags and titles to see if they're still relevant to the item and to the market that you're trying to reach.
Yeah, it's really fairly easy to do also when you think of the fact that once you have your shop established and you're getting people viewing your shop, you can see your statistics for a daily basis, a weekly basis, a 30-day basis, or even for all time. And some of the stats that they give you, besides the numbers of how many people have viewed your items or favorited your items, is they give you the actual search results. They tell you the keywords that people are using to find your items. So if you are noticing that they are looking for gold snakes and that's coming up, you know, they're finding you through that, you know, you want to make sure that you have that specific term, gold snakes, you know, in your tags and in your titles and in your description. And then if you have a bunch of stuff in your titles and tags that nobody ever types in, like, for example, I sell tons of playing cards. And when I first started doing the playing cards, I was using every term that I could possibly think of to tag these playing cards. I was doing poker and cribbage and bridge and canasta and pinochle. And then I realized, you know, not every set of cards is made for pinochle. Not every set of cards I sell is made for bridge or canasta. I need to pare this down, make it accurate, and remove some of the tags that nobody ever types in. I thought they would. I thought they would search for sealed deck of cards, but honestly, they don't. At least not according to my stats. I could go check my stats for the entire history of my shop being open, and there's absolutely nobody who's used those 4 words together, sealed deck of cards. So I stopped using that tag and I filled it in with something else that was more relevant. So it takes time to get it all going, and that's what they call the search engine optimization, is getting those keywords in there so that people can find you. It's not just people searching on Etsy, because your Etsy stuff is also picked up by Google. So people who search on Google could easily come up with your Medusa headbands and you know, that's probably one of the reasons you've been featured, and is getting all that activity in your shop, is because you've done a great job with your titles, tags, and description.
There's nothing crazier than just seeing your item show up in Google Shopping. It's really weird.
I bet. So when you first started, how long would you say it was between opening your shop and getting your first natural sale? Not selling to friends or family, but your first natural, a total stranger just bought my stuff.
A couple of months, and it freaked me out, honestly. I had sold a couple things to friends and family, but I was just sitting there refreshing the stats over and over, like, come on, someone please just buy a hair flower, anybody. And you start to question yourself, like, is my stuff any good? Am I really worthy to be here? I know I had like some major insecurity moments where I was like, maybe I'm really not an artist. Maybe I'm not cut out for this.
Oh, Gwen just dropped again. So I'm going to show you her shop again to show you some more items until she comes back here. So we will share that again. Here we go. So besides her, that's okay. I can hear you, but I can't see you. I've got the screen share open. I wanted to show them some more of your stuff. This is another one of the rhinestone projects, a rhinestone flower with the, I can't even imagine how much time it took you to rhinestone that giant spider.
A long time.
Long time. More gorgeous flower crowns. Look at how detailed they are. They're so gorgeous. They totally look real. And then I picked this one out because I wanted to ask you, this brooch that you have in here. Gwen uses not only, the silk flowers and the rhinestones and the feathers and stuff, but she also reclaims vintage items, buttons and brooches and things like that, and adds them to her designs. Is this one of John's pieces?
No, actually, that one came around a long time ago. I did recently sell one of John's pieces, but that one I actually got at a antique store in Virginia when I went with my mom, and I just really liked it. So I actually rhinestoned over it. Those leaves didn't originally have rhinestones on them.
Okay.
So I actually really love that piece because that flower is made of some lace that I found that I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. I mentioned our friend John. Our friend John's mom passed away a while back, and he gave Gwen a bunch of his mom's costume jewelry, which she's used in some of her designs. And I think that's so beautiful, and I know it just it touches my heart to think about it, that he gave those to you and that you're able to use them in such a beautiful manner. So I thought this might be one of them, but even though it isn't, I still love it.
Thank you.
But I wanted to show, like we were talking about the titles and tags and descriptions, you can see here all the different keywords that Gwen has on this. Flapper costume, Gatsby costume, Halloween costume, hair flower, bridal hair clip, bridal flower, bling, fascinator. She's got a wonderful description here about how she makes the items, the different colors that are in it. She does a great job describing her product and her method. And then down here, we've got the tags. And again, she's using some interesting things. Champagne bridal. Not everything bridal has to be white. And what a beautiful color that is. So there's absolutely people using those words together in the search. So just very unique. She's done a great job marketing her shop. I wanted to show more of the masks because the masks are a new thing that you've recently started. I love this one with the spider. being a former goth girl at heart, I love anything with a spider. And the rhinestones also look similar to Spider-Man patterns. Was that intentional?
Actually, it wasn't. It just sort of, I was trying to make a spider web and it just sort of came out that way.
Well, it reminds me of Spider-Man. And
Good.
I love it. I love it. I wanted to show your big collar piece. Everybody knows how much I love playing cards, and Gwen made this amazing Queen of Hearts collar. I'll get some other pictures here that ties around the neck with the ribbon. A couple different decks of cards. She even has it patterned in the back, so when your people are looking at you from behind, it still is beautiful and has a nice look to it. It certainly, you know, you can see that it's handmade, but it's so unique and so well made. This is just amazing. I
Thank
love this
you.
thing so much.
I recently sent one to Australia. I was pretty happy about that.
I was going to ask you if you sell to international customers. So Australia, that's a big one.
I decided to put on the spider mask because it was sitting next to me.
Oh, there you are. I had to remove my other browser down. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I sell internationally. I'll ship anywhere. If you have a post office nearby, you know, I'll send it to you.
See, I might have to buy that one because it matches my flower. So I can be a drunk spider for Halloween.
I love these spiders. I found these spiders last year. They were 6 for $1 at the dollar store, and I've gotten so much use out of them. They're like furry and they're beautiful, and they were at the dollar store. It's amazing the stuff you can get in the weirdest places.
Absolutely. And you know, funny enough, people make a ton of money buying things in the dollar store and reselling them.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. People buy stuff in bulk from the dollar store, send it to Amazon, jack up the price. They make bank.
Who
So
knew?
the dollar store works for both of us, for the crafters and for the resellers. If you're so inclined, support your local dollar store.
They had lots of great Halloween stuff when I went in there last year, and I was shocked because some of it was really cool. And I was like, this is so awesome and so cheap, and I can bling it up. I mean, like I took a spider and I blinged it out, and you know, next thing you know, it's on a headpiece and it's $37, and it's like victory.
That's cool. So, do you have any goals for your shop? Do you want to sell another 80 or 100 Medusas this fall season, or what sort of goals do you have for your little shop?
I really don't set goals for my shop per se. I more set goals for myself. You know, create a certain amount a week or do a certain amount of advertising on social media a week, because I can't control who buys things, but I can control what I do. I can control what I make. I can control how I market it. I can control who I'm trying to reach. I can, you know, make a goal to, you know, do so many Instagram posts a week or whatever, but I can't control who's going to buy. I have to assume that, you know, if I make it, they will come. But if they don't, at least I know I did my part. As for Medusa, I expect to be raining snakes in September and October. And I'm really looking forward to the challenge. I really hope that, you know, this year, knowing that I'm going to be ready and I'm going to be fully stocked in snakes and wire and paint and everything. I'm really hoping that the traffic comes back and that I sell as many this year or and more. I want to see if I, you know, how many I can actually do. And I look forward to the challenge.
Well, you know, and if you've got family or friends visiting in town, put them to work. Hand them a
I wouldn't
tool
trust
and
my
make
family
them
and
do
friends.
some of that wire bending and all that stuff. So, uh, maybe I can come down for a couple of days and hang out with you and come back with gold fingers. So
I can pay you in mojitos.
yeah, that's my favorite kind of payment. I love anything green. So, what sort of social media do you use? You mentioned Instagram. Where else do you promote your store?
Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and that's it. I don't use Facebook because I don't have a business Facebook. I only have a personal Facebook. So every so often I'll post like, hey guys, look what I made. But it's more like, hey friends, I want to hear this is pretty, not please go buy it. Like, I don't want my friends to feel like I'm taking advantage of them and pushing my stuff on them. So mostly just Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest, which I don't really get Pinterest, but I pin things anyway.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't understand it. I just click the damn button. So, oh, we lost her again. Well, we're almost wrapping up anyway. I really hope you've enjoyed hearing from a handmade seller. She's very enthusiastic about her shop. I'm so glad that she was wanting to do this interview and share it with you. Just something new. I've been mostly focusing on talking to other resellers and vintage sellers, but Etsy is and did start out as a handmade community, so supporting handmade sellers is really important. I buy handmade, I buy vintage. I encourage everybody to do both and make it the best that you can for the community by supporting each other. So okay, well, Gwen just sent me a Facebook message that says that she can't get back into the chat. All right, go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to put links to her store below. I'm going to get her Instagram and Tumblr and all that stuff and put links down below so you can follow her. I love her so much. I can't express to you what an amazing person she is, and being an amazing person, I know she does amazing work. She takes amazing care of her customers like we discussed earlier, and she's just all around great. So I really wanted to get this video out to you guys before I take my summer vacation from YouTube. But I will see you guys again in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for watching this interview. I will talk to you later. Bye.